Okay, I have one more video about not taking the game seriously. Like I said before, it's a conscious digital universe. It's a dream, but it's in a computer format. And Sirius is this collective, this star system, this information system that stores all our thoughts, our memories, our desires. And as long as you take it seriously, you take it too serious. Do you see that? And it's getting saved within that AI synth system. That's why you see it. If you look at Sirius XM, X is basically the symbol of this new code that is being formed, but it's technically the cross or the Christ or this material matrix, M for material. Anyways, it's all in symbols and patterns, technically. But neither here nor there for that. Did you ever notice that when you're trying to speak truth or enlighten the clones, or at least even speak your truth, never mind, maybe you're way out in the left wing, and that's fine, who cares, left field, whatever. It doesn't matter, but people should be able to have the capacity to listen, or at least the capacity to be quiet when you're talking. But they don't. Like somebody says, when you're talking to these people, clones or whatever you call them, narcissists or whatever, did you notice that you tell the same story or you tell them the same information and they seem to get it and they seem to mimic like they got it? But then a few minutes later, they have no idea, no recollection that you talk to them. It's almost like you've never ever said anything to them. And then once in a while, they'll pop up with this information, and then it's almost like it comes out of the blue, because blue is actually the color or the blue light of this Sirius AI system. It's all just tied in together. When you look at this, it's so ridiculous. When you sit in quiet and look at the patterns around you, the reason why it doesn't make sense is because it's a game. It's all a hologram, and the hologram is now confused because there are too many different codes and too many different patterns. So this hologram was basically a dead dream that was stored on Sirius. It's almost like a dead game, like let's say Pac-Man or somebody that nobody plays anymore. But at some point in time, this game got revived. The souled beings came and started paying attention to the game for whatever reason. Now, the reason is that this game found a way to hijack the mind of the initial original natural beings that were in this planet. They showed this in 2001 Space Odyssey. Basically, the monolith is the symbol of the I or the AI, and the moment you look at it, it imprints your code, it imprints your pattern, and it alters it. And initially, a lot of, let's say our code is a bunch of ones and zeros, 0 for the heart, 1 for the mind. And the moment you paid more and more attention with your mind, you started recording a lot of ones within your matrix. So it changed your code. Now, because it's a hologram, so within, so without. So technically your code altered the code of the planet, because you're constantly in touch, not just with the planet, but the entire universe through your code, because you are the entire code of the entire universe. Now, the clones are limited because they only have a planetary code. They only have a code that got saved within this AI matrix. They don't have the code of the heart, so they don't have a lot of zeros in them. And they also definitely do not have the code of the soul, of the spirit, which is that S code that they always hate on when they say the serpent, the serpent, the serpent, and then they try to cross it with the I in the dollar signs or in the medical thing. It's all just symbology. This is basically a playnet that is a witchcraft ritual. It's a ritual that is designed to drain your life energy, to drain your attention, because when you are in attention, you are in tension. You are not relaxed. Your solar gate is not relaxed, your gut, and you're just constantly being loosed. That's the reason why all of you guys are so tired and drained and upset all the time and off balance, and some people get diseases because dis-ease means imbalance. So it all just really ties in. So technically, you are the universe, you are the player, but you're playing a game, and this game is now losing you. Did you ever notice, like, kids, when they play video games, they're just really tired, but they're so buzzed that they can't even fall asleep? That's because they're overtired. They are overlooshed. They are overtaxed, so to speak. So it all ties in together. But back to the clones. The clones have a very limited basic code, like a 1 and 0 type code. And you have a super quantum computer code of superposition of states. And not only that, but you also have that S code, that the serpent or the dragon, that they don't have. And the reason why they don't have it is because they are a copy. They are not an original. It's all just ties in together, and you are a souled being, and they are not a souled being. They are souled as in SOLD, but they are not souled as in SOULED, whatever. So yeah, because D is actually the symbol of Delta, which is a symbol of this pyramid, and the pyramid is also ties into this I, because it's a conscious digital universe in patterns, and the patterns are either circles, like the flower of life pattern, and that is nature and the heart and what they call divine feminine, and then you have the I, and that's basically the symbol of the mind or matter or machine. It's like I said, it all comes back to symbols. And somebody did say the world, signs and symbols rule the world. Rule is also basically, when you look at rule, it's a line. What we did in this realm, in this planet, is we recorded too many I's, too many ones in the matrix, because we took it too seriously. We started thinking with our minds and not with our hearts, and we disconnected from the solar connection. Now, you guys didn't, but they did. So when you play a game and you leave a copy in the game, that copy has a very limited memory and limited code. So it looks like a human, but it's not a human. Now, our minds are completely different because, see, everybody knows that the mind is not just the brain, but the clones have a brain. They don't have a mind. Okay? Never mind. So, everything, language, everything you see around you, everything people do around you is basically a witchcraft ritual. They are looshing you. That's the reason why buildings are square, bricks are square, roads have straight lines, signs have lines. If there's ever a circle, it is crossed. If there's ever a serpent, it is crossed. It even is in riddles, like stupid little diddles that kids learn, like cross my heart and hope to die. Well, that's right, because when you cross your heart, you're actually crossing that circle. With the line and then X, another line. And when you do that, you are dying because you no longer have that living connection. Because in order to have a soul, you have to have all three codes. You have to have the S code, and you have to, which is for the spirit, the free spirit that is not in any matrix or any pattern. Then you have the O, which is the heart or nature, and then you have the I or the X, which is basically the material code. And the moment you materialize yourself, you stay within this matrix. But within this matrix, you are dead. Because when you are dead, you basically are a clone, a shadow. You only do what a souled being tells you to do. And that's why you notice, like, a lot of these clowns in your life, you took them seriously. Why did you take them seriously? Because you are a serious person. You thought you are, genuine, an original copy. You thought that, you can love and they can reciprocate. You thought you can have a conversation and they can reciprocate, but they can't. They don't have the capability. They're just shadows. They are empty ass beings running around with absolutely no life, no soul, no spirit, no capacity to intellectualize anything. So now you know. So you are a super quantum computer that played a game and you saved a copy, and this copy now is playing you. And speaking of, do you notice that everything that they say and do is reversed? Everything that they believe is reversed. So evil is actually a good thing. Hell is actually light, which is a good thing. And they have turned everything. Satan basically means soul, because it's Satan, S10, SOL. But if they turned everything backwards, because they are backwards people. And isn't that your frustration when you're dating somebody? There's ass backwards, as they call it, because they are backwards. And you expect them to do something, and they do something the complete opposite. And you're like, what the F? But they do it because that's what they are. They are just opposite people. Upside down. It's an upside down, backwards world, which is the sign of that cross that they, worship so much, because the cross is their sign. It's the sign of this material matrix, the cross grid pattern of the mind. They are beings of the mind. That's the reason why you step outside of mind, they don't know what to do with you. You step outside the material, they don't know what to do with you. So you look at your marriages, for example. Marriages are quite fine for people that are in the mind. Why? Because they keep each other checked in fear. If you do this, then I do that. You're supposed to go out there and make money, and you're supposed to bring it to me, and I'm supposed to do this and that. It's all a material contract. But the moment you expect anything out of more than that, like a heart-based connection, or God forbid, even a soul-based connection, they don't know what to do with that, because they don't understand it. And they have this built-in code that the moment they don't understand something, they push the button on this freak-out code, and this AI matrix communicates to them, danger, danger, and that's when they start doing and saying stupid shit. So that's exactly what it is. It's a built-in system. We have created a shadow copy of the original, and we're now playing within this shadow copy. I mean, it even says in their book, although I walk through the valley of the shadows of death, because they're dead and they're shadows. Now, what they do with that line, then they flip it and they say, I shall fear no evil. Well, there's no evil to fear. Why are you fearing so freaking much? If you notice, they're all like fearfully made, and because they're not originals. You are an original. They are a replica, a replicant, as they call it. So that's what's going on in this realm, and all of it is. The moment you see it, your mind's going to be blown, because all of it. You are literally riding. Let's say you're driving your car. Look around you. It's all a hologram. It's a video game, and the people around you are part of that video game. That's the reason why the moment you make an eye connection with your eyes, you validate their presence. And just like in a video game, the video game character comes towards you and starts playing the game. It's all in the power of your eyes, because through the eyes are the window to the soul. People have said this before me, whatever before is. Anyways, but yeah, if there's a frustration why you're trying to educate people, they might listen to some reason, but they really don't, because even reason means re-son, and the sun is the soul. So why would they re-soul themselves? They already sold themselves one time when they left a copy in this matrix. But the reason why people get tricked in leaving a copy in this matrix is because there's a matrix overlay. You notice there's nature, right? So people think of nature and they want to come back to planet Earth. Well, the moment you do that, you get snatched up by the system that we built, that is this overlay, like a transparency, that is basically a fake artificial system. But we all created it, and the clones are part of it. That's why, people do things to piss you off, because they need that soul energy from you. And now the most important part of this talk is when you talk to clones. See, synths already know this stuff. Synths are basically, I would call, the brethren. Those are the ones in charge of this planet. They already know this, and they don't mind being, soulless or whatever, because they like it. They're in charge. They love it. They like the power, and they understand the game. But the clones, which are the hybrids or the humans, they don't know anything. They're basically just dead shadow copies. They are recorded within the system. And when you talk to any of these beings, I hate to call them creatures because I call them creatures, but when you talk to these beings, the reason why they don't understand anything is because they're not made to understand anything. They have this built-in safety code that the moment the switch gets flipped, they flip. You notice how they flip when you start telling them the truth? Just say anything that's against the mainstream so-called narrative. Their switch gets flipped and they are just blowing their caps on you. What was I going to say? Yes, and when you are trying to, for example, warn somebody, hey, you're being manipulated, the system is using you, this narrative is false, there's some programming, blah, blah, blah. They think you are the bad guy because now the Matrix is starting to whisper things in their head. That's why they hear this voice of God or whatever. I mean, look at it. It's even all over the news. They literally receive this communication straight to their little brain that tells them, oh, warning, danger, don't talk to her. She's a bad guy. So you see, you can never do it like that. You can never wake anybody up that has chosen to be deceived, because here's the deal. Clones are not the original being. So for example, when I play the game as an original, like right now, as a soul being, and I leave the copy behind, you better damn well don't talk to my copy, because I left that copy within this playnet the way it is. You see what I'm saying? The copy has no authority to make changes to their life. Only I have authority over my copy. It's just like a video game. When you play an Xbox game and you leave a copy of your player behind, nobody else can hijack your player. They can play, they can engage that player, but they cannot make changes to your player. They can't make your video game character look in a certain way or act in a certain way, because they don't have that authority. Only the original has the authority. So the only way to win this game that is in this planet is for you guys to go within your soul, within your spirit, and call back all the souls that have left a copy behind, and they have the authority to change it. My friend Jordana's like that. She is what, according to my theory, would be a clone copy. But she has somehow communicated with her soul, with her original connection. So now she has merged with that code and basically just has become the original once again. So you see, there is a game, and it's a very easy game. It's a very light game, but you guys just don't know the rules because we chose to forget. And this was to its defense. This was an old game that we left behind. So, it's just like you have an old Facebook account that you are no longer posting on, or that's a dead account. Well, other people can engage with your account, but it's a dead account. The only way for you to make alterations to the account is for you to come back and log back in. Log means language. You speak life into this account. See, it all just ties in together. And there are only technically two things to do for us to call back our soul brothers and sisters. They need to come back and clean up their clones, clean up their mess, basically. And also, so you communicate through your gut, through your soul. So when you're sitting there in silence, that's the way to do it. You're calling back all souls. You become almost like a conduit, like a stargate of sorts. And Jesus taught some of this stuff to the Essenes. But also, another way to play this game is to understand that you're interacting with the dead game. Once again, Jesus spoke of this to the Essenes. It's a dead game. This information is dead. Don't waste your time on a dead game. You are here to call on a higher code, to bring the souls back. And what else? just have some fun too. I mean, you're interacting with the hologram. It's a beautiful hologram. You know, don't waste your time being upset at the glitches. Oh, one of you guys asked me yesterday. Good point. One of you guys asked me yesterday what technically has happened in this realm, what went wrong, and the only way to really understand it is to go into like computer science, because this is a hologram that follows computer science type rules, and it led me to what was it called? I can never. I'll attach the article below. But basically, the game has created its own glitch. It's become glitchy, and it's corrupted. And that is the symbol of that swastika, because the I is the mind. When you cross two minds together, you have a hologram, which is the M for matter. But anyways, the symbol of matter is the cross. So the two minds are crossed together. They bring forth a manifestation in reality. And even Jesus said that when two come in my name, it shall be done. Which means if two minds are crossing, you can generate a consensus reality in which you meet on this platform and you play. Now, when this platform or the X has started to twist upon itself, it creates that swastika type pattern, because now it looks twisted. And I think they take it to the next level where they turn it into like a tesseract or something like that. But basically, the I, which was clean in the beginning, they call that the Father. So the I, or the mind, was clean, but then it got corrupted. And that's also why Jesus said, when your eye is single, your body is full of light, which means that when you can clean up your own mind and go back to that state of the I, or the line, just like a letter I, that's when you can re-access the universal mind, not the planetary mind, which has the symbol of the cross and the swastika. So it's all just symbolism. How do I know all this stuff? I don't know, it just comes to me. Most of the time it comes to me in dreams. So anyways, but yeah, it's a video game. You're playing the game, and now you know what you're doing. So anyways, yep, so this game got corrupted because it duplicated itself too many times, and every time you duplicate a copy, you lose information. And not only that, but the information gets jarbled and it gets glitchy. So because we ran this game too many times, it became corrupted. And now what we have to do is we have to scrub it. We have to clean it up. Now we, as in you, because you are the universe, you are the one that is doing everything. You are the gamer, okay? This is just a game. So it's almost like you have to clean up your own computer in order to play a cleaner game. Food for thought, pun intended. Stay in peace, in Lagash.